Hey now, living the e-hustle. Here's our latest podcast talking about a couple of things. And when I say watching the market with the eye test and why buy now, because here's the reason is that I think that in today's world, we can really get caught up in analytics. We can get caught up in statistics. We can get caught up in numbers. But there's an awful lot that you can learn, do, and make your decisions just based upon the old-fashioned eye test, meaning that you're involved, you're paying attention, you see trends, you see things happening, and then you can make decisions for yourself on top of other information that you gather, analytics and all kind of numbers and things like that. So that being said, let's talk a little bit right now in regards to what we're seeing and watching the market. Well, when you're watching the real estate market, you also have to take in your own manner other items and things that are going on all across the financial markets. So if you're looking, if you've noticed, particularly the last month or so, you are seeing a lot of volatility in the stock market. You're seeing an awful lot of volatility in the stock market, and that includes, if you're in the crypto markets, that includes a rotation of some sort, as you're seeing a lot of technology stocks right now really getting beat up quite a bit. And you're looking at your Apples, your Googles, and your Amazons, and a lot of these companies are still coming out with great reports, and they're getting beat up. You look at what's going on with interest rates, and right now, in my opinion, you've got a fight between those that want interest rates to stay at a certain level for their own benefit versus those that want it to rise based upon their own benefit. So how does that affect you in regards to real estate? How does that affect you and why you should buy now? Why shouldn't you just sit on your hands and kind of wait for all of this stuff to clear itself out, wait for different things to happen? Well, a couple of reasons, and let's talk about buying real estate right now. And first of all, you have to look at why you're buying. So we're going to talk about if you don't own any property right now. And let's suppose you're looking to buy either for the first time or just get back into home ownership. And now I'm talking about areas that I service, areas here in California that we know very well. So let's look at that. Interest rates right now, they're around 5% or so. So let's ask yourself, realistically, do you think interest rates are going to go up to 7% before they go back to 3%? Think about it. Realistically, right now, we got a much better chance of getting at 7% than we do of going back down to 3% because the overall sentiment that we're being told. Remember, this is what we're being told. Now, you do your own eye test. We're being told that the economy is strong. We're being told that job growth is great. We're being told that there are more jobs out there than there are people to fill the jobs. We're being told a lot of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm telling you to do your own calculations on some of this stuff. But that's the kind of stuff and sentiment that is driving and data that they're coming up with that shows that or the justification of quote unquote raising interest rates to create a hedge against inflation, things like that. But let's look at that. Why should you buy real estate right now then? Why shouldn't you just wait to shake all that up, see how it comes out? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Reason number one is the obvious, is that when you don't own, we all have to pay to live somewhere, right? And if you don't own where you're living, then you're paying rent to someone else, and you're building equity, building a legacy, building however you want to put it for someone else, and not for you and your family. That's, of course, to me, number one. Number two, that owning real estate is one of our last and greatest tax havens that we have. So if you don't own and you're renting, then there's monies there, lots of monies that are being left on the table. That's obviously a situation. And the next thing is this, is think about it. If you're waiting for property value to drop versus really paying attention to what interest rates are going to drive your monthly payment more than the price of the property. And if you're buying something to live in, and you plan on living there for a longer period of time, what you're really going to be concerned about is your monthly obligation. Because no matter what your monthly payment, what your monthly payment is way more important than whether your property value is up or down. unless it's a time when you're looking to sell it or refinance it because of a purpose. So let's assume, though, there's not a purpose, there's not been a change in your life, you're just looking to live somewhere. I mean, think about this. If you had a $400,000 house, let's say now rates are right, you you can't live. You're either paying for yourself or you're paying your rent and interest, right? Do we think that rents are going to be higher or cheaper, at least in the near future? See, the rental market is really strong as well. So rents have been on a steady increase. A steady increase. Depending upon the area, the location, size of house that you're going to get, in areas that I service, realistically, you're going to pay $2,200 a month in rent. And you're building no equity, getting no tax write-offs, getting nothing for it. Nothing for it. If any other reason at all, that should be why you should buy now. Now, sure, you can wait for interest rates to go back down to 3%, but let's face it, when they were at 3%, that was the historical low that our country has seen in the modern era, like since the 30s or 40s or whatever it was, right? So what's the odds of it getting back to that in our lifetimes? Odds of it going back that low are not strong. You see, they're not very strong. And if they are, then we're all probably not making enough money, so it doesn't matter anyway. We can't afford the monthly payments, right? So, from an eye test standpoint, watch everything that's going on around you. From a standpoint of purchasing, what you really just want to make sure is that you purchase right. And purchasing right means that you can afford the monthly payment, the area is somewhere in the vicinity and decent enough or whatever that you'll feel comfortable moving into for a minute. And that's the biggest thing that you have to look for. So, if you have any questions, any other real estate stuff, feel free to give us a holler, the Ellsman Pilar Walker team. Feel free to share this podcast or any of our other information. We love the opportunity to provide value to people, and we hope that this has been some value to you. So remember, no matter what you're going through in life, it's just a temporary condition because things do change. And you know what? It truly is. It's a great life. So God bless you, and we look